Hi, everyone. Good morning. That didn't sound like a good morning. I said good morning, everyone. Awesome. I'm really terrified. Oh my god. Okay, so to make things less awkward, I'm gonna start with a joke, okay? You will laugh. I promise you will laugh. But don't fight the laughter, okay? Are you ready? How does Moses drink his coffee? He brews it. Get it? Ha 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 ha. Need an ark? I know a guy. Get it? Know a guy. Okay, thank you everyone. Hi. Like Tirza said, my name's Kai. Thank you. I know I'm funny. My name's Kai. I'm 17. I'm currently in my senior year and I'm freaking out and on the verge of hyperventilating. It's okay. So I'm sorry if I projectile vomit. It won't happen. I'm sorry. I'm the co-captain of the Teens Worship Team, president of the Student Council, and I even got named MVP of my school's basketball team. Why? I have no idea. I mean, can you just imagine me, 5 feet tall, trying to grab the ball from someone who's like 5'7" or 6 foot, whatever. It wasn't always like this. I'd say I lived a pretty boring life with zero accomplishments. I don't know why I always go back to this, but if drinking gasoline counted as an accomplishment, then that's one. You can ask questions later. I looked at other people my age, even younger, and they're already accomplishing great things, like inventing the best next thing, speaking at the United Nations, winning a Nobel Prize, and there I was, lying in bed like the lazy person I am, binge watching, procrastinating homework that was due the next day. I still do that, of course. Who doesn't? And if I don't finish my homework, I would pull the I'm president card. Just kidding. I don't do that. Of course, I don't do that. I have absolutely no intentions in abusing my powers. None. But little did I know, God listened to my prayers, or should I say, complaints, on how he managed that. I have no idea. I can get pretty annoying. Just ask my parents. They're already growing white hair because I'm so annoying. Instead of giving me a heads up, it just happened. No warning signs, no glowing light, no deep voice accompanied by an orchestra in the background saying, Kai, it's God. This is your plan. That sounded like Batman, not God. Okay. One thing I learned from this experience was that God's plan comes unexpectedly. No, better yet, God's plan is unexpected. I had absolutely no idea that I was going to be president or worship captain. I didn't have the best grades or skills. It just happened. Like this moment, when I got asked to preach, I laughed, looked up, and went, are you crazy? Let's look at the story of Gideon, which can be found in Judges 6-7. But it's kind of too long to read, so you can look at it at your phone later. So basically, it's about this guy named Gideon who was asked by God to rescue Israel from the Midianites. I think that's how you say it, Midianites. When God reveals his plan, we often ask, why me? Gideon asked God, how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in the whole tribe of Manasseh, okay, and I'm the least in my entire family. I would say this is Gideon's are you crazy moment. So, why me? Do you know why you? Because God knows that we are able to overcome. Through faith, our trust in God, and his guidance, we can overcome. Gideon followed God's instructions. He even asked for signs just to be sure that it's actually God who's asking him to do this. And he slayed the enemies of Israel. We need to trust God, even if his plans do or do not make sense. God wants to use us. No matter how young, how old, how big or small, he wants to use us. Just look at Gideon, the weakest member of the weakest clan, asked to do such a large task. What can he do? He wasn't equipped enough to fulfill God's plan. During our last camp, the speaker, Pastor Josh, said this one thing that has been stuck with me ever since. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. People often ask me, where do you want to go? what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you're older? Usually the answer to this is a simple shrug of my shoulders, accompanied with a, I don't know. I now know why I have no idea. I can't let go of the control of my life, not letting God help me all the way. I'm so invested in the fact that only I can figure out what I want to do and not realizing that the answer is right there, right in front of my face. Trust. Trust that God is there to help me. I'm going to ask you a question, so just be honest. Who here is scared of what the future brings? Okay, I'm going to ask that again because I know everyone is. Who here is scared of what the future brings? Thank you. We shouldn't fear because whenever it grips us, we tend to forget that God has been faithful to us before. I'm yet to receive that letter that determines whether or not I'm accepted to university. Yes, I am scared. But so is Gideon. We shouldn't be afraid because God has been in our future. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8 says, He goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. We need to know that His plan for us is what He thinks. No, not things. Is what He knows is best for us. Sure, you think you know your future, where you're going. Most of you are in the point of your lives where you're almost certain of your career paths. But guess what? Just because you're at a certain age doesn't mean God is done planning with your life. In conclusion, we need to trust Him with all of our hearts. He knows our hearts. His plans won't harm us, but instead His plans will prosper us, give us hope and a future. Our future is in God's hands, and it only makes sense that we entrusted it to Him by seeking to follow His plan for our lives. Fearing for the future blinds us of God's faithfulness in our lives. The good news is that God's perfect love drives out fear. We shouldn't fear. Instead, we should be excited for the future. Just have faith in God's plan for the future.